What is up, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing a brand new episode of the United Mexican States. Let's go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Really like that I am doing two simultaneous series at the same time. Really do like to make these videos, so I hope you guys are enjoying the political process and power and revolution at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and say right here, I do not have any news on the 2024 edition or the GPS 5, so if you guys are just going to comment just to say, oh, well, where is the 2025 or 2024 edition or 2025 edition / GPS 5? I don't know. I'm going to go the Illuminati route and say that GPS 5 comes out in 2025. We have a situation in Haiti right now. So Haiti is under a political and societal crisis right now. In real life, Haiti is extremely unstable right now. The entire country is being taken over by gangs, and we have the option to try to stabilize the region. So I think what we can do is that we're going to go over and we're going to offer some aid to them. So we're going to go ahead and offer about 10 billion pesos. We're actually going to do 7.25 billion pesos for the country. Let's go ahead and send those over, and then let's go over to manage networks and approach political groups. We're going to dismantle terrorist groups, and then we're going to put about 100 agents into Haiti, and we are going to put these, let's go over here. Let's also approach political groups, and then Workers' Party for Socialism. We have the Center Independent Party that is in power. We're also going to do some political spying here and see what we can get done in Haiti. So let's go ahead and confirm all of that, and we will go ahead and send those off. Let's also go over to country. Let's go over to proposing annexation of a sovereign territory. We also have the option to just flat out annex Haiti, and that would do a couple of things. That would, number one, reduce our education and HDI score. It would be an absolute just train wreck. I mean, you can see they make up for half of our HDI score. Let's go ahead and look at their GNH, or their gross national happiness. They are number 147 in the world right now. Actually, I think that is, yeah, that's Haiti actually. They're actually number 147. So in terms of the world, they still suck. Since the beginning of the game, they have not advanced their national wealth. They have advanced in terms of human rights. They have advanced in unemployment. They have advanced in security. They have advanced in women's rights, or they have actually not even changed in women's rights, but compared to the world, they still suck. Purchasing power, they have definitely improved over the past 9 years, or a couple of years actually, almost half a decade now. Health, they still are just abysmal whenever it comes to healthcare in the country. Environment, they are doing really well, and that means they're reducing their CO2 emissions, but education is completely in the drain right now. Their HTG is worth 0.0087, or just over 3/4 of a US dollar cent. So that is very unfortunate that their currency is not doing that well. Our currency is actually doing well. We are now worth 6 cents, up from 5 cents previously. And they have 1.5 soldiers. I'm just going to say that. They have 1.5 soldiers. If they had a nuclear weapon, I'd honestly laugh. Literally all of their crap and everything is just going into their nuclear weapons program. Let's actually check to see if there are any new nuclear weapons states here. Go over here, nuclear warheads. The United Arab Emirates is a nuclear power, as well as Iran. Iran has 5 nuclear warheads, so we now have 11 nuclear powers in the world. For some reason, the UAE thought it was a funny idea to develop a nuclear weapons program, and I have no idea why. Iran, I can probably see. Except the UAE, I don't know why. And maybe, why wasn't there a US nuclear crisis over the UAE weapons program? That is very unfortunate to see that is a thing. Large increase in foreign aid. Let's go ahead and look over here at Haiti and let's see what our economic relationship is, 21. And so that means that we should be doing better in terms of relations, but it's still going to have to hold. We do have them listed as a potential member of the Caillou, and they still have yet to join the Caillou. The Alliance of Central Territories, the ACT, based in Cancun, was founded in 2025. We only have Trinidad and Tobago, which is a member of this alliance, and no other countries have joined this alliance. So let's go over here. Who else has yet to join our organization, the Caillou? Cuba is yet to join. The Dominican Republic is yet to join, and we did not invite Haiti to this, unfortunately. I thought I did. I think I was kind of like do we have to kind of thing. Let's go over here. Dominican Republic is in the Caillou, so good to see that they are still a member of the Caillou. And let's go ahead and give them some aid as well. Just send over some aid to some of these countries. Let's actually bump the aid that we just gave to Haiti. Let's bump that up to about 12 billion pesos. And let's see what the deficit of their deficit goes down to. It goes down to 0.84, so that means that it should be benefiting them a little bit whenever it comes to economic relations to us, but also should benefit their spending levels and at least start to stabilize the country. If we absolutely have to, we will propose an annexation of the territory and Turkey possibility of sabotage. Let's go ahead and do that. Unfavorable regime change in Thailand. We could also think about, do we have these military alliances all over the area? We do. I think a really good idea that Everson could do is that if in these comparative maps, I would really like to see like your alliances that you have. So if like I was allied with all of these countries down here, I really want to have the ability to see what my alliance looks like. NATO, last. Economic power. What is our economic power? We are now the 9th largest economy in the world. We are just behind Brazil, but ahead of Canada. So we are doing better than Russia. So Russia was actually one of the competitors that we saw with ourselves once we actually, because the idea that we have for this series is that we wanted to be able to compete against China and their economic influence. While we are not going to be able to make up 413 billion pesos, 413 trillion pesos here, we are not going to be able to compete with that. That is just not a possibility. But what we could do is that we can start to compete with other countries. So I think what we can do next is that we can start to place some tariffs on Brazil. I think Brazil did break our free trade agreement, so we are free to use any kind of economic pressures against Brazil as we want, or we can try to continue to build our growth. I mean, the more free trade that we actually compete with and join, basically, the more free trade agreements that we're able to join, the better off that we're going to be in terms of trying to outcompete some of these European countries. And lastly, what I do want to see before we go ahead and start going forward with this series, with this episode, I want to go over to demography. I want to go to, well, number 1, life expectancy. We are number 5 in the world. Fertility rate, net migration, 279. So is everyone just leaving all of these countries? They're actually not. We actually have some of the lowest in Latin America. Life and health, this is the Human Development Index. We are number 37 in the world. We are very comparable to Russia whenever it comes to human development. So we're almost about to be able to surpass Taiwan, Israel, Greece. We still have a long way to go whenever it comes to this, but we're about to surpass Russia whenever it comes to our HDI, and I think that'll be really good. That means that we are developing just at a good pace. And let's go ahead and go to the beginning of the game. So we started off with a 0.76 HDI scores. So that it was number 71 in the world. We were just around China's HDI, and as well Peru, Colombia, Thailand, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Iran, and even Ukraine. And then in 2029, we have benefited by an extremely large growing economy, and the oil industry is just booming our economy, and just we are managing this so well. We need to continue to invest into healthcare and our education system and our infrastructure, and once we are able to do that and lower the population per medical doctor, hospital bed, and even reduce crime, I think what we will see is a Mexico which is just comparable in HDI to Europe, to the United Kingdom, to France, to Germany, and even the United States in some points. And just as we were talking about, we have a new admission to the X, which is the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic would like to join the Alliance of Central Territories, and let's go ahead and accept them into the alliance. So good to see that the Dominican Republic is now slowly but surely becoming a vital member of the Central American economy and military sphere. All right, we did a couple of things as we moved through this episode. So while I was out, so basically we signed a contract with the United Kingdom, represented by this contract is insignificant compared to our global economic activity, is not very profitable, increasing its production not in our best interests, and will not have a significant impact on unemployment. So the sale price wasn't really that good, so we're going to go ahead and suppress the contract with the United Kingdom. I think we're going to have to negotiate another trade deal with the UK. We also tried to sign a immigration agreement with the UK. Basically, what we tried to do is try to export our workers over there. But they basically replied back and said, we don't have any issues or anything with labor, so we're just gonna say no to this for now. So unfortunately, we'll not be making any money off of sending workers or pristine Mexican construction workers over to the UK. We could actually maybe, we are already like squeezing so much money out of the United States for that gigantic, like several $100 billion trade agreements or immigration agreement that we have with the United States. Let's go over here. Let's do United States, and what do we have? So importation, immigratory to come and work in the United States in certain economic sectors, especially construction. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? Let's go ahead and send our workers over there. We should be doing the whole thing. We're not even gonna actually ask them to charge more. We're just gonna say like, hey, like go ahead and accept this. Rejected for the free trade agreement with Cuba, and it's because of our relations. Costa Rica accepted our global economic treaty together, so good. Really like to see that. And we also, by the way, did discover the cure for cancer at the very beginning of this game. We will do what is necessary to implement as quickly as possible. Ministry of the Interior's budget has already been allocated. And Turkey, Jihadist Caliphate, we're not going to do that. We still have no relations with Turkey right now. Turkey's now continues to be an international pariah due to the devastating war against Cyprus. 182 or 182 days, rainfall variation, debilitation 4%. 4% of the city was destroyed in the war. It's very unfortunate to see that Cyprus continues to fall under the Turkish flag, and we will continue to sanction Turkey until they either withdraw or everyone else normalizes relations with them, which I already kind of assumed that relations have normalized between Turkey and everyone else. I think it's just something a policy I will go ahead and continue. If the next administration after this administration decides to move on and say, okay, we're gonna reopen relations with Turkey, everything like that. That's their prerogative, honestly. Mexico has developed. Good news is technology is so the Rosales Space Telescope is on its way to becoming something that we can launch ourselves. The Aleta Rosales Space Launch Center is completed, so we don't have to worry about using another guy to launch it from. Luna 1. Let me see. Aleta Rosales. Increase the budget. Launch day. So this is satellite construction. Estimated risk of failure. Why are we only funding at 3.5 billion pesos? Let's go ahead and increase this at least a couple of turns. Luna 2. Let's go ahead and 50 billion peso program. 0% space probe construction, but we have a 0% chance of failure. So let's go ahead and approve the program. And estimated risk of failure less than 30% after or before 222.33. Let's do 2034. Do 2034. And then Earth overshoot day, Venus, forest fire, and we're gonna do Luna 1. Luna 1 and space probe construction, 0%, approve the program. All right, and we have a negative look on foreign policy as well as a positive on controlled immigration. Basically, what I just did is that I just tightened visa restrictions on Niger, Chad, Mali, the Central African Republic, Burundi, Somalia, Kenya, and I believe Burkina Faso. So why would I restrict all of the travel coming in from Africa? So if I go over here and I look, so I am continuously trying with all of my effort to try to curb illegal immigration. Illegal immigration has barely even freaking changed since the beginning of the game. So look, illegal immigration was 94% of our immigration in 2022. In 2029, we have 59% of our illegal immigration, or of our immigration being illegal immigration, while 30% has gone up to deportation. We also have the 6.7%, which is the legal immigration of nationals, which is students or economical, humanitarian, and family reasons, and then return of foreign students, voluntary return, incentive for foreigners in a country illegally to return to their home, or unsolicited return, end of work contract, everything like that. Illegal immigration in 2022 was 96.7% of our immigration. 93% of it now is in 2029. So it's just a matter of attracting people to come in. We also have to somewhat lower the amount of people that are leaving, but we can't really do that whenever we're deporting so many people. So it's just more of a matter. The good thing about this is that at least we have reduced the amount of people that are leaving. So only 2.65 million people left Mexico in 2022. In 2029, it's gone down to 1.25 million. In 2022, 1.5 million immigrated into Mexico, and 930,000 are immigrating into Mexico in 2029. So it's just a matter of just trying to get somehow attracting more people. Well, that's why I'm trying to increase my HDI score. If I can get more HDI, then I can attract more immigrants. And I'm also trying to continuously try to sign some of these immigration agreements. That's why if you go over here to budget, you can see that Homeland Security is accounting for 2.5 trillion pesos. That is because I am giving all of this money away in terms of economic agreements or immigration agreements to all of the countries that are around us. All these weapons just got discovered, so maybe we can go on a little bit of a spending spree when it comes to our military. So I'm pretty much looking forward to that. If I go over here, let's go over to media, let's go over to construction, and let's invest about 50% in about 2 months, 538,000. That'll take up about 21,000 of those workers, and we'll start the construction now. Let's go ahead and increase our super high-speed fiber optic internet to 50% of the country, and then let's increase our 5G mobile internet to, let's do 35%. That's going to cost $389 billion over the next billion pesos over the next 5 years, and that we will cover about 216 billion off of that. And 35. Go ahead and send that over. And good. Really excited to see. And Rosales Space Program, 1%. 1% chance that the Rosales Space Telescope will fail whenever it launches. However, we will discover the needed technologies by the time it does. I think we need to do a test launch of our small-scale rocket. I think that's actually what it's telling us to do. So let's go over to... let's go over to family, allowances, and we're going to increase the 3 children cap per month for 1,200. So that is trying to encourage people to have babies. And let's do 2 children. Let's increase this to 500 a month, 500 pesos a month. Could we actually increase 3 children to 1,500 pesos? It'll be 41 billion pesos. To the lands paid, several children much saved to most distribute to education and well-being of their children as a birth policy designed to maintain the country's birth rate. Let's go ahead and confirm that over, and should be good, and then that will continue to increase our birth rate. Women, what is our birth rate actually? Let's go over here to population and birth rates, and it should be okay, but I mean, we're up from the 2022 number. We had 13 babies being born out of every 100, and we are now at 18 now. All right, and so as this episode is starting to wind down, let's go ahead and do a small-scale tax reform. So let's go ahead and go to tobacco tax, and we're going to go to poll, and we're going to try to see. Let's go ahead and lower this to 55%. Let's go ahead and add this to we're going to call this the Minor Tax Act of 2029. And then we're going to confirm this over. 200 million pesos will be made off of that. Could we eliminate one of these taxes? A spirit is a drink with an alcohol content above 20%. As in the case of tobacco, the purpose of this tax is to dissuade the consumer in the framework of a public health policy. Or we could go over to the wine tax. Welcome source of income from the state. It means of fighting excessive alcohol consumption. However, it can damage a sector that often represents a large part of the country's agricultural activity. Let's work to eliminate the highway toll tax. Let's work to eliminate this tax. And we're going to add that over to the tax reform. Let's increase the cannabis consumption tax. We're going to increase this to 175 pesos. And that'll get us 22 billion pesos off of that. And then could we work for a carbon tax of 10,000 pesos? I think like the higher it is, I mean, we're already on our way down in terms of carbon, so we don't really need to worry about that. I think we're going to lower the tourist tax. Theoretically, the income generated by this tax is aimed at encouraging the development of the country's tourism. Let's go ahead and lower this tax right here, and then we're going to add it to the reform. We're going to increase the animal salt and animal fat tax, and we're going to increase this to 9%. 9%. Maybe we can get to 10%. Let's get it to 10%. And then that is food, some as percentage of turnover. So I don't know if we're taxing the companies animal fats in the agri-food sector. No, we're taxing the companies. So this is like a company tax. And then we're trying to dissuade the companies from producing like salt and animal fat foods, basically. Let's go to employer social security payments. Let's do gun tax. Let's do a gun tax. Let's increase this to 500 pesos per gun. This tax is payable on all light and small caliber firearms, whether automatic or not, guns, revolvers, carbines, and all types of shotguns. So this is 76. Let's go ahead and lower this to a flat 500 peso fee. And we're going to add this to the reform. And then real estate payable annually by property owners. Let's go ahead and lower this and lower the strain on real estate owners by property owners. So it's not even just property owners like landlords and everything, it's actually homeowners as well. That'll be a cost of 15 billion pesos into our budget. Let's go ahead and add that to the reform. And audiovisual tax, should we increase this or decrease this? The license paid by television viewers is often meant to fund public radio and television channels. Let's decrease this to 126 pesos per year. People are paying a 126 peso fee on their TVs. Basically, it's like that meme on what do you call it? It's like that meme about the UK where they basically have to pay a tax on their TV. It's like the BBC fee or something like that. Financial transactions 2.25, and petroleum and energy product tax. Let's lower this to a flat 5 pesos per liter, and then that will be the last of the reform. And then that will pass by 70%, 79%, so almost 80%. Relative energy independence. Our country depends to a certain extent on other nations to provide for its energy needs. Not speaking dramatically, the situation must make us think about the means at our disposal to free ourselves from this relationship. Our energy bill would be much reduced, and we would then be protected from geopolitical and economic hazards. So I think it's mostly because we may still import a lot off of, what is it? I mean, I wouldn't think that we import a lot because, I mean, we're like one of the biggest oil exporters in the world now. Let's go over here. Let's go over to world. Let's see where we are in terms of oil production in the world. We are now number 4. We have outpaced Canada in terms of oil production. So I think this is what Mexico was like back in like the 70s, where Mexico was a huge oil giant whenever it came to oil production. And so at least we will be able to give our oil over to the United States at relatively fair prices, both for the United Mexican States and the United States. We have yet to advance past Saudi Arabia. Whether that is possible or not, I do not know. So it's going to be interesting whether we are going to be able to surpass Saudi Arabia as the number 3 oil exporter in the world. The number 1 in the world right now is the United States. The United States produces 15% of the world's oil, while Russia produces about 12%. Do we trade oil with Russia? Should we put a tariff on it? If so, or we could just flat out say, like, no more circulation of this. Again, no more circulation in Mexico. Oil, let's do the import and export of oil. No, I'll just put a tariff on it. Let's do natural gas, not conventional, custom duties. Let's do a 20% tariff on no. So oil. Total embargo. It's not going to let me do a custom duty on them. What about here? Custom duties. Russia does not produce non-conventional oil. What about natural gas? Let's go ahead and check the natural gas production in the world. We are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 12 in the world. So we're still a net exporter. We trade at least 182 billion pesos of natural gas to the market. Let's do tow by year and go all the way up. So we export 69 billion tow or million tow over into the international market. And with oil, we do 337 million tow of oil into the world. So that is about 17 million more than Canada. So in terms of trade in billions, we export about 1.3 billion trillion actually dollars in pesos across into the world market. So we do 1.3. So that is our trade balance. That's our trade balance. What about this? So let's do 268,000 people are working in the sector. A lot of people are working in the oil sector. It's going to be like Fallout, where basically the entire world economy is going to collapse, and then like we don't have any oil that we can sell anymore. What I would be really interested to see is whether, since this game is supposed to go into like the late 21st century and then early 22nd century, what kind of situation could happen in Power and Revolution whenever you hit peak oil. So peak oil is essentially where the world hits its production cap of the amount of oil that is in all of the reserves in all of the world, all of the known reserves. And then so oil production would cap sometime in around the 2050s, and then we would hit peak oil, and then oil production would basically start to decline until it all runs out. So that is the idea of peak oil. Now, whenever that happens, essentially by the time that you get to zero, that means that there is no more oil being produced across the world. Oil is a finite resource, so it is a possibility that we could run out of it at some point within this century or within next century. So by maybe the later 21st century, I would say maybe at least the early to mid 22nd century is about whenever we would have to start worrying about finding new resources. But that is why every time I ever play a game, I ever get into this game, I always invest as much as I can into nuclear power. Nuclear power is one of the best resources in order to try to dissuade yourself from using fossil fuels as a fine resource in order to get rid of climate change and trying to do better in terms of energy production. It is very expensive, especially for small countries, but it is going to last you a very long time. It is very safe to use, and usually once you get past, I always kind of recommend that you maybe build like 1 or 2 of these old nuclear reactors. As soon as you get 3G nuclear power, as soon as you get that, build those, dismantle all of your old nuclear power plants, and then go straight for 3G SMR. And then especially once you discover fusion, get as many fusion plants as you can. New interest rate for the Caillou is at 0.17%. So we are finally starting to increase our interest rates with the Caillou. So I'm very glad to see that. We're going to go ahead and end this episode right here. So guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever you do make it to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.